Welcome to Fit Me to Fitness podcast. Before jumping into today's episode, quick promotion about my 8-week summer challenge, which is starting on June 24th. Registration is now open, and as you are a listener of Fit Me to Fitness podcast, you will get 20% off with the code HOT30 at checkout. So go to check it out and register before it's joined. There is only few spots left when I'm recording this, so go to grab one of your spots and use code HOT30 at checkout. But now let's get into this episode. Hey, and welcome to this Fit Me to Fitness podcast. Today I'm talking about when to stop counting calories. So this is a topic I recently talked one of my clients, Beth, and as she have been in a situation that she have been seeing very, very good progress by counting calories, but now she's at the point that does she really need to do it, because it's starting to take a little bit enjoyment away from her eating, and it was not the idea she was actually thinking that she should be doing, but when we talked about it, she thought that this is exactly the right thing to do now, and I'm in this episode. I'm giving some signs when it's time to consider about it, and ways how you can gradually get out of counting calories. So there are going to be several strategies what I love to use, and it doesn't mean that you have to use all of them, but pick one or two those strategies I'm talking about and start implementing, because counting calories is not meant to be for the life. It's I always say that it's a powerful tool to use at some point of your life to educate yourself with the foods, what you are eating on current basis, but it shouldn't be used all the time. So, but before jumping into episode, just quick updates what is going on, and just a normal live chat as when I'm recording this. It's a Sunday morning, 7 a.m. And I was already thinking that this week I'm not going to record a podcast. It has been a crazy busy week, and challenge coming up. People are signing up, creating individual workouts for them, going with the women's ice hockey national team, preparing for upcoming season. We have a training camp for whole next week, leaving tomorrow. Being a full-time teacher on top of all other things I have been doing. So it has been busy time, but something what I said to myself that I promised to record one podcast episode per week. And now here I am, 7 a.m. to record a podcast, because I know that if I wouldn't do it today, it wouldn't happen. So this is kind of my way of thinking that I don't know if this is going to be perfect podcast, if this is going to be helpful. I hope it will, but the point is not being perfect. The point is about getting started and keeping promises you make to yourself. And this is just a promise I made for myself, and it's that important that I keep my word. And that's why sometimes it means that I gotta get up 6:30 Sunday morning to record a podcast episode for you. So this is my way of keeping words I'm promising for myself, and what I promise for you, that there is going to be weekly episodes. So this is shortly about me, and but now let's get into that topic, and what is about calorie counting. Like I said, it's a powerful tool. I love to use it at sometimes, but majority of the time I don't count my calories. I'm aware of calories, like what foods I'm eating, but I'm not obsessively tracking them, counting them. But I know that around, like that, how much this foods, how many calories my breakfast has. If I'm deciding to have a piece of cake, if I'm deciding to have a drink a beer, if I decide to eat salad, I know how much what I'm putting on top of my salad. If there is going to be olive oil, if there's going to be seeds, like I have that basic knowledge how many calories there is I'm not even counting them in my head, but I know that, okay, if I have a decision to make what I'm going to eat, and there is kind of, I'm alternating between two options, I'm probably going to decide, like, it's not always same, but depending on situation, sometimes I don't care. I rather choose that enjoyment, but there is always that if I don't mind having something else, then why not to have that kind of that lower calorie option? What is most likely keeping me fuller for longer? And because I'm a person who loves eating food, and I struggle leaving something on plate. It's still, even knowing everything how it's working, but it's consistent struggle. Like yesterday, it's we were barbecuing, and we had a burgers, and I was there, like I had already two. They were so tasty, and then I was like that. I was eating obviously too fast again, and then I was like that. There is one left. I was like that. I'm going to go. I'm going to have it. Like I don't want to leave something behind, and then my wife said, "Are you sure that you wanna have a third burger?" And I was like, "That actually, you are right. I don't need it." And then I decided that I don't need to eat it now. I can have it later if I'm still hungry. And because at the time I felt I was feeling that I'm not completely full, but I didn't want to leave anything behind. But so then I made a decision to delay it. I decided that I wait for 15 minutes, and then obviously what happened is that I started to feel fuller a bit longer, and I was already actually very, very full. So then I was like that, oh my God, this is such a simple thing, what I have been forgetting to do for so many times, or I forget to do it so often. Even I talk about it all the time, but I haven't been able to implement it myself. And then what happened? I eat it later at night, and was happy about my decision to leave something behind and do not what I would do normally. Like maybe I was actually very, very full, so I would be probably okay by eating even a bit less. But the point is not about being perfect; it's about improving and making these small decisions. So when you know what is the right thing to do, and then actually doing it is a totally different thing. But this is just an example of how eating something and just delaying, waiting, and learning to make a little bit smarter decisions. It's all what matters. So that's about counting calories, and obviously by one sitting eating too much, it's all about like that. I often, and I will forget it, do using these kind of strategies also in future. But it's not about being perfect. It's about trying to improve, and because then next meal is your next chance to do it better. And this is called kind of intuitive eating, and this is what I'm usually doing. Sometimes it's going better. Sometimes I don't have so big success, but then you realize it, and then you try to remember for the next meal. But this this has something to do with counting calories. So you don't need to, if you would count calories, then you would know. Like Bet told me that it was that tool of counting calories. It's kind of like when she's looking like that. Okay, she have tracked everything, and now she have hit her amount of calories. And then she thinks it means automatically for her that now when I hit my calories, I can't be hungry anymore. And that is something like that. Okay, it gives you a little bit awareness, but it shouldn't be like if you are eating, you have reached your calorie limit, that you can't have anything anymore because you have to be full. And it's not always the case. Obviously, it's a tool, and you can see it, you can watch it. It gives you a little bit awareness how much you have been eating. but it depends a lot what you have been eating, like how filling foods like a protein, fiber. Did you have some vegetables? Because there is a huge difference if you like, let's say that number is 2,000 calories. What you are eating on those 2,000 calories, how full you are going to feel. So it doesn't always mean that you can't have or you can't feel hungry if you hit your total number of calories. So, and that was kind of one sign for me, what I highly recommended her to start at least trying. I know that it's going to be very scary if you are someone who have been counting calories for longer, and it feels that it's the only way, as it has been for many people, that you are going to lose weight, make some progress, change your body composition, and now you kind of want to get rid of it, at least in some level of your mind, but you haven't been able to do it. But if you start to think that kind of things that you can't, there is something wrong with me if I don't feel full, if I don't, if I'm hungry, even I hit my calories, and that is one sign that you should consider taking a break from counting calories. So when is then the time to stop counting calories? So first of all, counting calories is usually, it's the best way to do when your goal is to change your body composition. So it works kind of either both ways. So if you are trying to lose body fat or weight, or if you are trying to build muscle, because this is something because that's what I'm doing. My personal goal is to maintain my weight. I don't have a weight loss or fat loss goals. I don't necessarily want to build too much muscle. So I'm trying to maintain, and that's when this kind of that intuitive eating, like eating when you are hungry, is working the best. But then if you kind of trying to go something what is not natural for your body, so you are trying to change your body composition, then counting calories, because if your goal is to eat in a slight surplus and build muscle mass, it's going to be, especially if you are eating mostly healthy, it's going to be very challenging to eat kind of above your maintenance calories, what your body actually needs. And without tracking, it's going to be hard to know that you still need something, because it's more. And it's same thing with when losing weight. So there might be a days that you still feel hungry, but if you want to reach your body goals, then it's really about finding foods that keeps you fuller, gives you enough energy that you can maintain it for longer. And ultimately, you have to remember that calorie deficit, losing fat, even you have some fat, you are not in your whole weight. It might be that you have to take a break in the middle, because so many people think that, I do it until I hit my goal, but that's not how it works. Because if you think that how you are going to then maintain it, if you have never practiced it before, and most of the people, they are starting a diet, and they are dieting and they think that they have to diet until they hit their goal, and then they are in their goal and life is good again. But that's not how it's working. If you have never practiced how to maintain actually your lost weight, how the hell are you going to do it then later when you reach actually that goal? So that's why understanding that it's the hardest decision to make, that decision, but taking those diet breaks and controlled breaks, and probably maybe even trying to not track calories, see how it goes, stay there for month, 2, 3, 4, and then start again. So seeing how it goes, and because it's very hard especially for mental health, if you are kind of on that dieting phase all the time. And that's why often seasons like a holiday season, or if you have a busy season at the work and you know that it's going to be challenge to maintain in a fat loss phase, it's probably smarter to try to take a break and learn to be and practice to be in a maintenance and maintain your lost weight. And then when your mental energy is better, when situation is better, then trying to use those kind of fat loss phases for short period of time and then getting back to maintenance. So this is the first sign that if you are getting close to your weight loss goals or muscle building goals, then using those as a phases. It's not a lifestyle. You shouldn't be years. You shouldn't be decades trying to lose weight, because that's very hard, especially for your mental health. So those are two signs. What are, like, if you are getting closer to your weight goals, like gaining weight, losing weight, or if you think that there is some kind of like a mental health issues that you are seeing, you are increasing anxiety, or you start to see like kind of disordered relationship with food, or then if your body signals, like what your body is trying to tell you, because this is very, very difficult to understand. But one sign when you should stop counting calories is that when you don't trust your hunger and fullness cues. Like in a pet's case, it was she was solely relying on her number values. So she was hungry, but when her calories were full, she was telling herself that I can't eat anymore because I have hit my calories already, that I can't be hungry. And if you are not learning to listen your body's natural hunger cues or fullness cues, or if you are also like, because they are longer, you are dieting, those body cues, they are changing. So you don't necessarily, like I often hear from people who have been dieting very long, that I'm just not hungry, but then they are eating like a very, very little calories. And this is not a good thing. This is not a good thing. Many people are thinking that this is actually a good thing, that I don't feel hungry, but it's damaging your hormonal balance, and that's why it's happening. And then when you don't understand it, then how you are going to feel it, then your energy levels are very low. Your sleep is usually suffering, and you might have some other signs, like you start to lose hair, you don't have a sex drive. And these are all signs that now your body is trying to tell you there is something wrong. Or women, they are losing their periods, and these are not good signs. These are signs that you have been doing it probably too long, and that's why you shouldn't always trust your body's signals, and because it's a normal thing that at some point you are getting hungry, at some point you are feeling full. So this is kind of a sign what tells me always that now it's time to stop counting calories, at least for a short period of time. So then step guide how to actually stop counting calories. So there are a few different options. So this is one way is to simply trying to listen your body and those natural hunger cues. So if you are someone who have tracked calories, you are pretty good at estimating how many calories there is. So that's a first thing, which is a good thing. Like myself, that you are pretty good estimating your portion sizes, how many calories different foods have, and if you are, especially if you are someone who is eating more or less same kind of foods every single day, it's relatively easy to get kind of that range what amount of calories you are eating. And then next way is kind of what I recommend is that you don't count calories every single day. You could be doing it alternating, like one day you do count, one day not. And what I don't recommend is that you count calories. What often people are doing, they count maybe calories from Monday to Thursday, are spot on, and then 3 days weekend you don't count them. But alternating, like for example, every second day, including weekends, when you are counting, it's a one way to get out of it. And it doesn't mean that in those days when you don't count, that it doesn't matter. It's not cheat days. That term I personally hate, because you are not cheating anything. They count anyways, regardless if you count or not. But just trying to find a kind of balance, getting rid of that habit, how to do it. And then one way, what I actually recommended for Beth too was to not track calories, but trying to track only her protein intake, and that usually ahead. So planning your protein sources ahead, and this is one of the most powerful ways to feel fuller. Make sure that you get enough protein and fiber. Fiber could be the second one, but it depends. Like or if you look your rules, like what you are doing at the moment. Like for example, I use now my own example, like what you should be getting. Like for example, protein goal. It should be what studies are telling: 1.5 to 2.2 grams per kilo body weight. So for example, I weigh 90 kilos. So my protein goal is somewhere like between 150 and or 135 would be the 1.5, and 2.2 we are close to 200. So it's pretty big range. And what I try to do with myself is that I get that 150 grams every single day. And how I'm doing it, I'm not counting calories, but I have my daily habits. What I do basically every single day, I make sure that my breakfast, I have 50 grams of protein. So my breakfast is basically every day similar one. I had my protein sources. I know they are always 250 grams of Greek yogurt, 25 grams of protein, scoop of natural unflavored protein powder, another 25. So I have my 50 grams of protein every single day. Then I mix it with some fruits like a banana, apple, avocado, whatever seasonal fruits there are. But my protein sources are same every single day. Then I have a snack before my lunch, and there I use, usually it's a cottage cheese. Sometimes it's another protein shake with the casein protein, so different kind of protein powder, and these are, sometimes it's something else, but just an example that with my habits, what I have, I get already 75 grams of protein before my lunch. And then even if I don't have always, I can't decide what I'm eating or what options I have for lunch or dinner. So, but in the worst case, I have 75 grams. And then if I eat something in the afternoon, I try to think about protein. So this way, it's relatively easy to get that around at least 150 grams of protein per day. So I make sure that I have my protein goals, and that makes me again feeling fuller. To prevent that overeating, it still happens, but if I recognize that, especially on days if I don't have enough protein, I'm snacking kind of all the time. I'm feeling hungrier. Other thing, what is very, very useful, or what is helpful, is fiber. So fiber, your goal should be to eating 14 grams of fiber per 1,000 calories you are eating. So for me, that number is, my maintenance calories are around 2,500. Some days, depending on activity levels, I might need up to 3,000. But 14 times. So it's, if on a days when I have 3,000, it would be 42 grams of protein. And if you eat kind of whole grains, fruits are a great source, vegetables, those are great sources of fiber. So I have my 3 pieces of fruit every single morning with my breakfast. So I make sure to have those kind of most important things already earlier in the day. And plus, then other rule what I have for myself is to have 1 big salad per day. So usually that's lunchtime. So within these my rules, I make sure that I have those most important things already earlier. And this is the one way, just for bed, that if you plan your protein sources ahead for the next day. So let's say that tomorrow, what is going to be your protein source for your breakfast? How much you are going to eat it? And then repeat it, same thing, snacks, lunch, dinner. And when you know your protein sources, so you know that whatever your protein goal is, if it's 100 grams protein, you are going to have 30 grams for your breakfast, 40 grams for your lunch and dinner. So this way you have already, then everything else doesn't matter. You make sure that you have enough, you hit your protein goal. So it's such a helpful way thinking like how to do it without counting every single calorie, but making sure that you have enough those foods what you know that you need to be eating, feeling fuller and reaching your body goals. So this is just a simple way. So then other ways how to actually do it step by step is to thinking nutrient dense foods. So thinking like focusing more on quality than how many calories there are. So often what is the best way is like less processed foods, like thinking like how many of kind of one ingredient foods you are eating. So what is one ingredient food? It's just basically not processed food. So making sure that what is examples? There is a banana, there is a potato, there is a rice, there is a chicken. So there is only one ingredient. And it's not like if you buy some food, there is usually a big list of foods. But if you have those kind of like one ingredient foods, more nutrient dense foods those usually are. Like I'm not talking now about how they are made, if it's organic or bio or whatever, but just the principle that that what is processed, what is not processed, and I'm not going to go deeper for that, but that's just an idea. And also then balanced meals. What means really balanced? Like that you make sure like that. I'm sure you have seen that kind of plate model where is like half of the foods are vegetables. Then there's a 1/4 is carbs, 1/4 is protein, and a little bit of healthy fats. So these kind of things, thinking that plate model in your mind when you are looking your plate, what you are eating, it's a great tool to make sure that you have actually all kind of nutrients what you are eating to naturally control your hunger and satiety. And then third way is like what I talked already a little bit is intuitive eating. So using that hunger scale, like thinking that am I actually hungry? So these are all kind of rules what you could be using yourself, and ultimately, if you are the best way is to know how hungry you are. If you are, because often it's we work on kind of that on autopilot, so that we do things what we don't even know or we are not aware that we are doing. We are kind of on autopilot, and usually there is some kind of cues. So, for example, you are coming from work, you are laying down on your couch watching TV, and then suddenly you are starting to feel that now I'm actually hungry. And then you start to snack something while watching TV, and it's autopilot. You are probably not hungry. And these here is like the best rules are just waiting or making sure, like if you are telling like if I'm still feeling like those hunger cues, they come and go. But if you are telling yourself that I can have it, but there is some kind of rule. Usually it's waiting, maybe it's eating something else before. So those are my favorite ways to do it, like setting, for example, just 4 or 5 minutes. Ideally, it would be maybe 15 minutes on timer, put it in your phone. And then when that time is passed, whatever goal you can start with 5 minutes. Ideally, it would be maybe 15. And if after that time has passed, you still want it, go for it. Or other good rule, what you could be combining with this rule is to eat something else before. So if you crave some potato chips, but you don't give yourself allowance to eat them right away, but say that I can have them but I need to do something else before. And it could be, for example, eating one piece of fruit, could be an apple, could be orange, watermelon, whatever you enjoy eating, it doesn't matter. And then waiting at the same time. And then if you still want it, then go for it, or eating some source of protein before. So making sure that you have those kind of important, that it's not, if you are actually hungry, that you are having those more important macronutrients before, and then you can go what you originally craved. So these are just an important goals. Sometimes what often people are misunderstanding is if they are actually thirsty or if they are hungry. So could be drinking glass of water before going for food and waiting. So these kind of rules, what you would be combining with the waiting, that you can have something, but you have to do something else before. So these are ways to do it, and then obviously listening your body and those hunger cues, and that's my own example from yesterday's barbecue is the best example that those portion sizes usually we don't feel it. You feel that fullness 15 minutes after, and learning to say that when you start to feel 80-90% full, like for me, I was on that level. I thought that I'm maybe 50%, even I was 80-90% full. And then when I weighed, I didn't feel actually hungry. I was so happy to make that decision. But it's very hard to say that now I hit that 80% and now I just don't eat anymore. So these kind of rules are going to be a game changer. Then kind of that if you are dealing with emotional eating. So first step always is I have a couple of episodes of those how to stop emotional eating. So, but quickly here recap is the first step is always to identify those triggers. So I'm trying to find alternating coping mechanisms. So first step is always to write it down when you are having, like, are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling bored? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling sad? When that happens, that you are eating to suppress your emotions, write it down. And because that is already first step, it's identifying why it's happening. And then when you are aware that, okay, I'm feeling that some emotion and it's okay, then you put it down, it's away from your brain. And then, food shouldn't be the way to suppress your unwanted feelings. So that's the first step. And then snacking. If you are someone who loves to snack all the time, then think about, like, if you are someone who have counted calories, you can. I'm one of those, and at this time now it's a summertime, so I love some kind of healthier snacks. And now watermelon is just one of my favorites. So I know that it's not going to be whole year watermelon, but at the moment it's a watermelon. So it gives me, I get my water. There is almost like a 0 calories, and that's just healthier, making me feeling fuller. And then I'm all the time when I'm snacking, I'm okay to snack watermelon. So it gives ways to build a little bit healthier snacking rules. So then other way is kind of thinking your lifestyle, and encourage to think like that physical activity and what you actually enjoy, and what can help you to maintain your healthy weight without focusing on calories. So making sure that you hit your step amount. If you go for a 2 times 15-minute walk or even 10-minute walk, it doesn't matter. But what you naturally enjoy, and that making it sure that this way you keep moving, you keep taking action, you are doing your resistance training. Maybe that's something what you don't enjoy. Like I don't enjoy, but I know that I need to be doing it for 2, 3 times per week to maintain my weight, to feel pain free, to be pain free, and feel the best version of myself. So I know it's at the moment, it's always the pain of starting it, of doing it. But when I do it, I'm so happy about myself that I did it. And that's something what in the long term have made me feel the best I have ever felt. And I'm 42 now. So, and then one step is also your sleep and stress management. So how, because they are those two things, they are simplest ways and the reasons why you are hungry all the time. So if you are lacking sleep, if you don't sleep, I think there is a study, it's like 98%, 95 at least, people who are not sleeping at least 7 hours with good quality, you are going to eat more. And studies are showing that the people who are eating or who are sleeping less than 7 hours are eating on average 300 calories more per day without noticing it. And this is just the think that why, if you are feeling you are all the time hungry, how it's affecting. And this is often, it's a cycle, like you don't get a quality sleep. The next day you are automatically eating a bit more, and you are moving a bit less than you think you are. Even you might be all the time going, but then it's not only about step amounts, but it's also like facial uh, impressions, what you are doing. Are you sitting? Are you laying on couch? How energized you are? And if you are sleeping, it makes such a big difference on your calorie burn if you are fully rested or if you are lacking of sleep. So sleep, and obviously that is impacting the same thing with stress. So finding a ways you naturally enjoy that are helping to reduce your stress. So for me personally, I love going walking outside. Outside, it's the simplest way to get a little bit sunlight. Go outside, doing some walk. I'm getting tired at night. I'm going to bed same time, around 10 p.m. every single day, 7 days a week, like 90% of the days when I have just a chance, when I'm at home. Then it's not, I love watching Netflix, but I have a rule for myself that it's latest 10 to 10. I close everything, brush my teeth, go to bed. And then 10:15, I have to be in a bed. I try to read. Then 15 minutes at the most every single day. And then I'm done. So these are just the simple ways, and that walking, it's reducing stress, it gives mental clarity, and also helps to sleep better. So just a few ideas what I'm doing and what maybe you could be trying to implement into your life if you can. So these are my kind of best tips how to stop counting it, how to stop counting calories. And like I said, it's the thing that, like, if you are still very scared of doing it, think the worst possible case scenario. You can try it, and you have always chance to go back. So there is, what is the worst thing would happen? Like that you don't like, you try to do it for, let's say, 2, 3, 4 weeks, and you start to see that now you are going back to your old habits. You can go back on it. So you don't make, or you don't lose a significant amount of progress you have made within a couple of weeks or month. Like it works on the opposite. So you don't change your life or body in 2 weeks or in a month, but you don't lose your progress. So you might see a trend that you don't like to see, but you have you have chance to go back. So you can go back, you can start counting calories. If you don't like doing it, you can go start to count every other day, or you can just track your protein. So there is not much you can, if you can live with the worst possible outcome, give it a shot, try it, because it's counting calories, even it's a helpful tool, it's not meant to be for life. And at some point, like I said earlier, you have to learn to be without at least, and you have to learn to maintain your calories. So if you want to get that kind of food freedom, you have to, at some point, you have to learn and get rid of that habit. So that was episode for today. It's 8 a.m. I gotta go to make breakfast for my wife, and I hope you are having a good day. So thank you for listening, and thank you for those, especially those who have left that 5-star rating. They are so helpful and helping me to reach more people giving this content. So if you feel this was helpful, please leave that 5-star rating. And obviously, if you have any questions, DM me to my Instagram, and or shoot me an email, turo@fitmeetturo.com. So thank you for listening, and talk to you soon.
Hold up, friend. Do you love Fit Me Turo Fitness podcast? If so, the best way to say thank you is to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review on iTunes. I know every podcaster wants you to leave a review, but it's because those reviews help the podcast to reach more people. I truly want to know what you think, and if this particular episode resonated with you, would you also please share it? Either send a link to someone who you think will find it valuable, or take a screenshot and post it into your social media and tell your friends and family why they should listen it. Make sure you tag me so I can hear your feedback and give you a little love. And if you aren't already following me on Instagram or TikTok, that's the perfect time to hit that follow button. Thank you for being here and listening to Fit Me Turo Fitness podcast.